Well, hello. I'm Wendy Rose Williams, and I am a past life energy healer. And I help people release energy that no longer serves them, whether it's pain, both physical and emotional, anxiety, depression, or just feeling stuck, like you cannot get life out of second gear. And when we're able to release this energy that doesn't serve us, my goodness, huge, huge difference. Life is so much healthier, so much happier, and we can feel that we're really embracing our purpose. Part of my purpose is I really, really love animals. And I've invited St. Francis to come in as the patron saint for animals and to do a tribute today. And I'm inviting you all to enjoy a tribute to my pup, Henley. Henley came to me 3 years ago on July 7th. So that's her gotcha day. And she came to me via the Dog on Seattle Rescue in Seattle. And I would like to read you a story about a different dog that was very meaningful and was the first dog that I ever fostered for the Dog on Seattle Rescue. So the book is called Heaven Sent, uh, True Stories of Pets That have touched our hearts in miraculous ways. And it's a multi-author book with just so many really touching, important stories that I think you will enjoy. So I wanted to read you The War Dog. And let me give you the background to this. So as I said, I fostered a dog for the Dog on Seattle Rescue, and it was the first time I'd ever fostered. So let me read you the book, and you might be interested in purchasing the book. All proceeds from the book go to a veterans charity that helps veterans get aide dogs. So I will include the link to it. It's just $4.44 US on Kindle, an ebook version. So I will include that link. So chapter 21, The War Dog by Wendy Rose Williams. And I'll just show you the picture of Indy. So this is Indy camping out at Dusty Lake, Washington, with the gal that did adopt her. So the story starts this way. "You can call me Bella," she announced enthusiastically. I was astonished by how well I could hear the dog I planned to adopt. Yet I hesitated, concerned that my senior cat, Midnight, might not accept the 4-year-old shepherd mix the way he had agreed to the timid young male pocket boxer mix we'd originally requested. But the moment I saw Bella's stark shelter photo, I heard, "Foster her. It's important you help save her life." The Saturday before Thanksgiving, I headed to pick up my dog from the Dog on Seattle Rescue. My contact, Jenny, had mentioned that almost 30 dogs were arriving due to severe overcrowding at the California shelter. Dogs needed to be rescued immediately or they would be euthanized. An estimated 5,500 dogs are killed daily in the US shelter per an Act of Dogs Museum of Compassion. See anactofdog.org for more information. That number is shocking to me. I did not know that number until about 10 years ago. And we've got to do better. We're meant to be here to be stewards for the animals and for the earth herself. So let me continue with the story. Those of us in rescue see too many impulse purchases. People underestimate the amount of daily work, training, and exercise required for responsible dog ownership, and not enough dogs are being spayed and neutered. There's also a backyard breeder profit incentive and the issue of neglect. These factors all lead to dogs being dumped at the shelters through no fault of their own. I parked and easily spotted Jenny, who with clipboard and dog collars in hand was matching each dog coming off the van to its host family. It was remarkable how quickly this dog whisperer bonded with each pup as she crouched down and spoke with him or her. She expertly ran her hands over each dog, assessing health and temperament while also checking for ticks. I also recognized Jenny immediately, though we had never met. She was beautiful, despite wearing no makeup, a messy ponytail, and cargo pants covered in dog hair and muddy paw prints. Jenny's image changed to another time and place. I remembered us helping animals together in other lifetimes, including as brothers in England. We saved as many foxes as we could from the cruel sport of hunting with hounds on horseback. I sensed several lives with Jenny. My guides had been specific during multiple meditations that I was to volunteer in dog rescue, specifically with Jenny and her husband, John. I sensed a soul contract made with each of them before we incarnated. I had a sinking feeling something had gone terribly wrong in one of my lives with Jenny. My guides had commented, what happened was unforgivable. You need to make it right the best you can. Love and care for her to the best of your ability. Help her help the dogs. I snapped back to the present when my name was called. Bella stepped confidently off the van, a beautiful, light-colored shepherd with an intelligent look in her eyes. The moment I began walking Bella, I discovered to my surprise I had no game. She was clearly walking me, and my left knee began to buckle and feel strange, although I didn't have knee problems. When I asked Jenny for dog walking pointers, she demonstrated loose leash walking and how to redirect by turning quickly in the other direction if the dog was not following my lead. Bella walked remarkably better with Jenny, who was not only an expert, but taller and stronger, as well as 20 years younger than me. Jenny reminded me to have Bella drag a leash at home for the first few days and decompress in her crate. She was also not to meet my other animals for several days. When we arrived home, I took Bella for a long walk, hoping to tire her out before crating her. My left leg felt increasingly odd. I put Bella back in the car, praying she wouldn't eat my upholstery. Then, after securing midnight, I fed Bella, gave her water, and put her in the crate in my master bedroom. I began to slowly back out of the room, telling the dog firmly to stay, ignoring her barking and whining. An explosion of black hissing fur catapulted past my legs and charged the crate. Midnight had managed to pull down the latch on the closed bedroom door and push it open, and had now bolted past me when I opened the bathroom door. Bella took one look at this Tasmanian devil and burst out of her crate, breaking the zip ties I'd added for reinforcement. The crate flew in different directions, and the warring cat and dog were in full physical contact. There was no time to get something to separate them. Instinct told me to keep my face and hands above the melee. I took a deep breath, pulled my sweatshirt over my hands, and shoved my way in between the howling pair. I hip-checked the dog hard to my left into the vanity. Bella lifted her head in surprise, which allowed me to grab her collar and haul her quickly from the bathroom. I threw a towel over the cat to slow him down in case he gave chase and slammed the door firmly behind us. Bella and I lurched into the great room, adrenaline pumping. My left cap was throbbing, but before I could examine it, Spike, our rabbit, raced across the back porch. Bella taught me an immediate lesson in prey drive. I had to tackle her to stop her from going through the French doors to get to Spike. I was petrified she was going to get out of her collar, yank the leash out of my hands, or break through the glass doors. This wasn't what I pictured when I got a dog to get more exercise. This was insane. This was war. I hauled Bella out the front door, heart pounding, and after a few minutes of rest, took her on another walk. My left leg was still bleeding, from the bite on the back of my calf, but fortunately, my thick socks and new jeans had provided some protection. When we got home, I put a resistant Bella back in my car again, then placed Spike in his hutch on the back porch and Midnight in an upstairs bedroom. I retrieved Bella from my car and kept her with me as I cooked dinner. It was easy to do as she glued herself to my left side, which felt so familiar. I tried to watch TV with Bella, but every time she began to relax, the cat would rattle the bedroom door in its frame. With each howl and hiss, the dog would bark and scramble to her feet in response, and it was all I could do to hold on to her. My home felt like a battleground. Now in tears, I called Jenny for the third time to learn that every foster home was full. The boarding facility the rescue used occasionally had closed for the weekend. I might be able to take Bella to Jenny's the next day if space became available. But first, we had to get through the night. The best plan I could come up with was for Bella and I to sleep in my car. I placed her new dog beds and blanket in the cargo area, then made myself as comfortable as possible on the bench back seat. Thankfully, we both fell asleep quickly. That night, I dreamed about sleeping with Bella on my left side. My weapon was on my right. We'd done it for so many months, decades earlier. It was a muscle memory in my current body. My left knee throbbed. I knew my left lower leg and foot were gone, but the phantom pain was excruciating. What was happening? I kept hearing past life release. I woke up a few hours later, sobbing. I felt gutted by the depth of emotion from innumerable soldiers surrounding us. The soldiers were earthbound souls, ghosts, who hadn't passed the light after their deaths. But why were they here? I was a ghost whisperer, but I couldn't walk this many home. The numbers were overwhelming. I called on the soul of a beloved actor friend who'd crossed over a few years earlier and was a genius at helping stuck souls get to the light. But countless more soldiers poured in, gutting me with their pain and heartbreak. I sensed a portal had opened on my property. Most of the soldiers looked like they were from World War II, but some were from earlier wars and some from conflicts as recent as Afghanistan. I knew my spiritual teacher, Birdie, had put a portal for these soldiers to get home. I told my guides firmly I was not willing to host this portal on my property, as there was too much grief to transmute. I sensed my actor comedian friend begin to lead the soldiers and suicides west toward the Olympic Peninsula, while cheerfully bellowing, "Good morning, Vietnam." I fell back into an uneasy sleep. No amount of shifting restored the feeling in my left leg and foot. My left leg felt blown away. I was still limping badly the next morning when I fed the three animals and texted an SOS to Birdie. She called a few minutes later and quickly helped me put the pieces together. Did Bella have a different name when you got her? It feels like you have a past life together. That's part of this intense energy you're both releasing. Your property looks like a war zone when I tune into it clairvoyantly. It's energetically blown up all around you. I know. I can't transmute this much energy. More and more soldiers keep pouring in, and they need help. Bella's name is technically Berlin. What kind of dog is she? Her soul is incredibly brave. She feels like your war dog. She's a German Shepherd mix. What does that have to do with, oh my God, you're right. I see our life together now. I was a young American soldier sent to Berlin during World War II. Berlin's in Germany. This dog's name is Berlin, and she's a German Shepherd. Talk about past life clues. It's so obvious now. It feels like something bad happened to my leg. Yes, you and Berlin were inseparable during the war. She's practically glued to your left leg, trying to protect you. She saved your life. I see her dragging you by your shirt and arm out of a building that's on fire. You're unconscious. You stepped on something with your left foot. There was an explosion. It looks like your leg had to be amputated above the knee. How's your leg now? I was openly sobbing. I can't feel my left leg or foot. It's like it's not there, and my knee keeps buckling. This past life energy is so intense in combination with all these ghosts. Did I open a portal last night by mistake while I was sleeping? Yes, you did. You and Berlin went back to that lifetime together in a big way to release the war energy, not only for yourselves, but for mankind. We'll finish relocating the portal in a minute and restore peace. Now I feel even worse that I can't keep this amazing dog after she saved my life. Do you see any way I can adopt her? No, Midnight won't agree to it, but you don't need to keep her. You transmuted your karma with Berlin when you agreed to take her. She saved your life during World War II, and now you've saved hers. I feel she's going to attract her forever home quickly. Let's finish moving that portal off your property. Our actor friend can help with that. She paused. Do you know why he's bellowing? Good morning, Vietnam? I laughed. I've heard him do that since the day he went home. It helps lighten the mood as he calls in the soldiers. It's a clarion call, so they know where to go to find the light. He's amazingly loud. It's why so many ghosts are coming in. Okay, it's working. The portal on your property is closed. He's leading them to the portal over the Strait of Juan de Fuca by Port Angeles. Angels are coming in to help because there are so many ghosts around you and your war dog. You need to ground and clear your energy and be sovereign. Don't let the soldiers in your energy field anymore. You can't process this much emotion on their behalf. No one can. They'll heal at home. Bertie, I so appreciate your help. You're welcome. Berlin has been a stellar war dog as well as a war horse for many people in her different incarnations. She deserves a wonderful life. I feel she's going to get it now. Great job finding one another and healing this old energy. After a bittersweet morning with my dog, I packed up her things and drove her to Jenny's. It was hard not to burst into tears as Jenny graciously welcomed Berlin and got her settled in a crate in the living room. But I knew she'd be matched with the best possible home. It was time to let her go. That day, I asked Jenny if I could help the rescue other than by fostering or adopting. And I was soon volunteering at adoption events, with transport, at intake arrivals, and with fundraising events. Berlin, I was thrilled to hear, was quickly adopted by her new foster family after spending a few days with Jenny. She was renamed Indy, loves to hike and camp, and is now living her best life. I couldn't ask for more for my brave war dog. 3 years after meeting Berlin, my left leg finally healed from my traumatic past life injury. I had waded up to my knees in the frigid red spring water at the Glastonbury Chalice Well and Gardens in England. My intermittent limp is gone, and my left leg no longer buckles under me. Dog on Seattle is a 501c3 organization. It is the largest foster-based rescue in Washington state. having saved many dogs from euthanasia. This 100% volunteer organization, and this was written years ago. There's now actually a few part-time paid employees, works tirelessly to change the reality for the thousands of dogs a day who are not as fortunate as Berlin. Visit dogoneseattle.org to learn how you can help. So that just seemed like the perfect thing to share with you in honor of Henley's Gotcha Day, in honor of Berlin, in honor of Midnight, my cat who passed on after 20 years of being an incredible best friend to me in this lifetime and in other lifetimes too. And I just want to point out, it can be easier to help than you think. You may not be in a position to adopt or even to foster a dog, but perhaps a cat, perhaps another animal, or perhaps you can get out there and volunteer with a rescue or for a shelter by taking dogs for walks. Anything that you do to help socialize them, to help train them, to help them get acclimated to loving, caring humans will absolutely help them attract their home. And again, spay and neuter, I really see as a moral imperative, as well as to adopt, don't shop. And what's meant by that is to consider if you do want uh, to bring an animal companion into your home, to just experience all that amazing love and companionship, to know where they're coming from, and to know that there's not a backyard breeder incentive going on. So that's what I wanted to share with you. And sweet Henley, my pup, came to me as a foster dog with her brother, Johnny. They came to me originally as Johnny and June Cash. And the moment that Johnny was adopted, I had no intent of adopting Henley. But the moment Johnny was adopted, I just knew that I was meant to adopt her. So I did go ahead and do that 3 years ago on July 7th. So just so thrilled that I got to have her during the puppy years too, because I had her starting as a little 3-month old. She is a fighter. She is a parvo survivor, as is Johnny, her brother. They were just the two pups. So I wonder if perhaps the rest of the litter didn't make it. We'll never know what happened. But again, just join me in celebrating the animals. And thank you to the Doggone Seattle Rescue and to its founder, Jenny Nordine. What you do is very, very important and so needed. And I know it is heartbreaking work at times. It is hard work. It is gritty work. And thank you to all the volunteers. Thank you to the fosters, and thank you to the adopters. Bye for now. You can find me via my website at wendyrosewilliams.com. And you're so welcome to ask for an energy clearing there. You'll see different dates when I offer group energy clearings and Q&A. And it's also my privilege to help do surrogate healings for the animals. So, because they've just got a special place in my heart. So bye for now.